Alright, today we're here with Brian from Emotimo. He's just going to give us a little breakdown on what's happening today.
We're showing off a couple rigs at Hot Rod, and we just came after the Jailfisher barbecue here. We're showing off a couple things around product shooting. And one of the things Emotimo does really well is give cinematographers the ability to interact with motion control and move their cameras in a very intuitive way. So today we were shooting a panning, tilting, sliding, focusing, zooming, and we added turntable in a 6-axis shot, which sounds complex until you realize that you grab a gaming remote, move some things around, frame things on up, take direction from Timur, and shoot some amazing product. So we were showing off the Spectrum series, which is our traditional motion control head that gets us really in fine to be able to control and carve through even a single degree over thousands of increments. That's one rig we were showing. The other one that we're showing off in the back of the room is our new stuff called the Conductor, which is a little tiny box. It's a very powerful machine that allows us to connect tilt-to-nucleus M motors with Ronin gimbals, also on a dolly, to be able to pan, tilt, roll, slide, focus, turntable, and zoom. It's a lot going on, but it's really easy to set up because we're grabbing a controller, setting up some keyframes, and we're playing.
Hi, my name is Timur Savan. I'm a product and tabletop cinematographer here giving a demonstration using the Burano with software 2.0 and Emotimo motion control systems at Hot Rod Camera. For demonstration purposes, we're shooting a perfume bottle. And I'm using a long zoom lens, which is a Laowa Ranger, the 80 to 180. And it gives you the ability to get close while having the camera not get too crowded and too close to the product, which gives you room to light and control your light and spill and stuff like that. We're using a Sony monitor as a sort of homemade fake virtual production, just to be able to control the background. So I have that running off of Resolve directly. And so I'm feeding it an image, but sitting on top of the product is also, sitting under the product is also an iPad playing the same exact image. And because it's a glass bottle, it gives you the opportunity to have the reflections match from all directions. And sometimes you get little surprises, sometimes the facets are looking downward and it turns black and you can't really see any detail. Well, with this, we can control it and fill it with light and fill it with the same textures as the background. We're using a combination of the Betty reflector system as well as the Lightbridge CRLS system. The two complement each other really well. The Betty is more for diffusion and has this really soft but still punchy feel. And I'm using the CRLS system for the precision and for more specular lights, more hard light. And the two of them together are working really well, so that's quite nice.
Hi, my name is Illya Friedman. I am the president of Betty Lights and also Hot Rod Cameras. Today we have our official after party for the Jailfisher barbecue. This is something that we did for 3 years before the pandemic, and then the Jailfisher barbecue went away for about 6 years, and it came back, so we brought back the after party. We also partnered with Sony and Timur Savan, who is also doing a lovely tabletop production demo going on in our shop. Brian from Emotimo came out and then also worked with Timur and Sony to do a really cool, very dynamic tabletop cinematography demonstration to a crowd of people.
Absolutely. So our rigs, everything we're built off of starts with gaming controllers, and they're also battery operated if you want. You can plug in a V-mount battery, like a 98 watt-hour pack will take you 6 hours of shooting. So they're meant to be portable. We came from people going out in the world and shooting time-lapse. So we wanted to make everything really easy to pick up, move. Single shooters can really get quite a few shots out of it. So we're bolting nothing to the floor, no forklifts involved. A lot of the stuff a single operator can pick up and move. And in small studios, you can do a lot these days. So that coupled with small cameras, great new lenses, new price points for things that are under 10 pounds. There's a lot of options for people to pick up and move cameras in creative ways.
So could you potentially travel with this if you had a job in New York?
Oh yeah.
How many bags would it take to kind of?
Well, the neat thing about who we integrate with, so Emotimo is an integrator. We don't build everything. In fact, there are Dana dollies everywhere. It's the Kleenex of speed rail solutions. You can rent one, you could buy one from anywhere. So starting with that, you don't have to travel with it. You go, you pick it on up, you rent it. Lens motors are small, the controllers are small. You basically can pick up and make a motion control studio without too much work.
Hi, I'm Mason. I'm with GVM Lighting. And today we're showcasing some of LED LEDs that we just invented or bring to the market. So we have all-in-one design for the AIO 1200. So we put the driver inside the light to make it more compact and more affordable for users. Affordable but yet practical. And we do have another reinvented product named the Ziptail. Expandable and very affordable, very good. We have the color grade over 97 plus, and the overall design very durable. We also have a flat hat with chip on board technology, make it brighter and softer and more energy saving. Well, so at this price point, generally we don't have any competitor because our all the specs and the build quality are beyond the level. And if you check this price point, generally you won't find any other competitors. I think we are the first company on the market that really want to provide some affordable and practical yet powerful products for videographers and for the industry. So that's our concept, and that's where we started. So we will keep rolling out new products. If you need any more information, go to gvmled.com.
So Betty Lights is a new type of reflector. Traditionally, reflectors fit on one or the other end of a spectrum. Usually it's about moving lots of light from point A to point B, usually hard light, or it's about a white reflector, typically something like an ultra bounce or beadboard or foam core, and that puts light everywhere. It's very, very soft. There isn't many reflectors. There isn't really any that sit right in the middle, and so that's what we want to do. So it's a lot more power than a white card, and then a lot softer than a traditional sort of shiny board or other sorts of polished aluminum. It's a lot like having a book light without having to build a book light. The quality of light is extremely similar. About 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago now, we started the Betty brand, which was because we started making some lighting products inside of hot rod cameras. Hot rod cameras has always been a manufacturer, and we became a retailer in about late 2011, early 2012. But the manufacturing has always been part of our business. I'm the inventor of the PL mount adapter back from 2009, and we have a machine shop that we used to have in our shop here in Los Angeles, and we moved it to Portland, Oregon. And all of the Betty products that we've made up until this point were never more than like $79. Aperture came out with this light bulb light called the B7C, and a lot of gaffers were coming in saying, this is a great product, but I don't have any way to hold this. Could you build something to hold this light bulb? And I came up with this thing we called the Eddy, which is like short for Edison, like an Edison, socket type of thing. And we had to figure out what to call it because Hot Rod Cameras was known for camera products, not for lighting products. And we thought that something that kind of rhymed with Eddy would be a good fit, and Betty Eddy is basically what it came to be. And so then when it came time to finally build and promote this product, it was like, do we come up with another brand name, or do we just keep using Betty? So it's the Betty luminous reflectors, and they are scalable, rugged, and beautiful.
The Burano has been really useful for this purpose because, having the features like dual base ISO, having a 800 base and a 3200 base, being able to work at lower light levels, which is what really the only thing that lets you use monitors as virtual production screens, because they tend not to be too bright. So being able to increase the ambience and work from that as a starting point makes it doable, period. So when you're on a tight budget and you still want to make something that looks kind of cool, there's tricks you can use, and the brand new modern technology and all the toys that we have make these things possible.
So motion control or camera robotics can mean a lot of different things to a lot of people. It's like, okay, let's start with a huge robotic arm that can move really fast and capture the golf swing in slow motion. That's one application that people use motion control for. But really automated camera movement and taking your camera and making it do what you want, which might just be really fine framing and very small movements and focus pulls and zooms for a product shoot, that's one thing you can do. A lot of what people use our products for is just really boring automated stuff. And if you've ever been running a dolly for the B or C camera position in a automated interview, you know how much not fun that is. We can set up a shot like that, we call it Interview Monster, where you just set a keyframe, start, end, go, and in about 10 seconds, you're just creating an auto dolly with any camera you have. You can even incorporate and kick in some zoom with that. You can manage your focus. Really easy tool for setting up an automated camera position. That's another thing. People use our product for stop motion. We integrate with Dragon Frame. People can shoot time-lapse. That's actually where we came from. Small rigs out in the field. So you could hook up a DSLR camera or a mirrorless, trigger that camera, capture the night sky, create some background plates. A lot of different applications. Really, once we hook up our robotics and we make an easy interface and lots of ability to control and connect other things, we see customers doing some pretty fun stuff. If you're interested in learning a little bit more, check out Emotimo.com. We've got a lot of information out there. You can also give us a ring, or just help@emotimo.com is an email address that goes to our help desk, sales@emotimo.com. Give us a call. We're friendly. We actually give real customer support. We build our products right down out of San Diego, California. Goes out all over the world. Give us a call.
They're just, different tools to get different results. It's not like, hey, it's a Me Too product where everything is exactly the same and you just have a different brand name on it. We're trying to do something very different. We're made of steel. We're 18 gauge steel instead of aluminum, and we're ferrous, meaning we're magnetic, so you can move and put your attachment points with a baby pin or other things anywhere you want on the surface. We also are double-sided, so if you do damage your reflector somehow on set, you can literally just flip it over and keep working. Flux 4X, which is our large shiny board size 40-inch by 40-inch system. Because it's scalable, you can basically build them to any size that you want. We have a speed rail attachment so that you can build really, really large ones. If you want to make a 10-foot or a 12-foot wide version, you could do that. The smallest panel, which is about the same as an A4 sheet of paper, can be linked in various ways. So you can link them horizontally or vertically. And so that way, if you're doing something that is 9:16 format and you want a more or less a 9:16 soft area of light, all you have to do is turn it on its side and you can scale it up as much as you would like. You could absolutely, if you want to buy some gear, come to Hot Rod Cameras. If you're really interested in the Betty Lights luminous reflectors, you can find it at bettylights.com. The links are going to take you over to Hot Rod Cameras to place a pre-order. We should be shipping by early July. If you found any of this information interesting and you want to get more of me in your life for whatever reason, I also have a podcast called the Cinematography Podcast. We've been doing it for about 11 years, and we get about 50,000 downloads a month. There's a lot of people who have been on the show, household names, people you've heard of. Check us out at camnoir.com.
The Burano doesn't disappoint. It has everything you need. The image looks beautiful. Incredible highlight rendition, great tone in the shadows. And it kind of, what's really nice is, like the Venice and the other Sony Cinalta systems, is it maintains the same kind of quality all the way from the toe all the way up to the shoulder, and you don't really get any kind of unexpected shifts in colors or tone and light response. It's sort of like is very consistent from the bottom all the way to the top, and that gives an image sort of like a nice solidity. And I think that that's something that the Burano kind of excels at, because it has this really nice, I don't know, you could call it almost like set in stone kind of an image. It just has like a good density, and it feels really like there. I guess that's the way you could call it. Is that it feels like you're there, like you're looking through a window. If you're interested in checking out my work, you can see it at Timur Savan on Instagram, my website, timursavan.com. I also have a nice blog on there that some people seem to like. So lots of camera stuff and geeky kind of examples and tests, camera tests, lens tests, that sort of thing.
This is the product scaled up with 4 of our 50 centimeter plates to make a 40 by 40 or 100 centimeter system.
So the light bounces off here.
The light bounces off of here, and you can collapse the whole thing down so that it fits inside of the trunk of your Honda. So essentially, it's it all fits into a case, which the case is right here. So this is
the Betty.
So all of that breaks down and goes into that.
Right. So what's the advantage of like something like this opposed to just like a plain white?
You ever seen a book light or ever built a book light?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a book light instead of white, which white goes everywhere. And then
something like a shiny board or a light bridge is very directional. This fits in the middle, so it's very much in the middle between the two.
So it's not quite like a silver reflector, like one.
Not at all. Most silver reflectors are very specular, have concentrated specularity. Your talent has a tendency to squint or wince if you put too much light into it or it's too close. Not with this. This actually distributes specularity, so you're far less likely to have any of those negative effects on your talent. Very talent friendly.
So it's kind of like a softbox.
Yes, it would do a similar effect to a softbox, but it really isn't any strain to look at it.
And do you want to do like just a quick demo of how it moves?
Sure. It's got some safety features built in as well too.
Is this magnetized or?
Oh yes, it's so everything can be magneted on there. If you've ever hit your head on a shiny board, it really sucks. I don't recommend it. But we purposely built this to have some give, so that if you do hit it, you're not going to end up in the emergency room, or most likely not. But on a shiny board, you absolutely can, because they have no yield whatsoever.
Cool. And do you have more products in the lineup that you're like working on, or?
Oh yes, we have a series of kits. I don't know what happened to the small kit. Multiple reflectors that you can gang together in different configurations. So all of these different ways. There's a handle that goes in here. Also, there are.
So that's the fat steel you're talking about, the 12 gauge or something? This
18 gauge.
18 gauge?
Yes, exactly. Which that gives us the ability to do some really clever stuff with it.
And what about this? What's that made out of?
These are magnets. These are rubberized magnets. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very high pull force magnets.
How do you like tap the holes into magnets?
Well, they're actually designed. These pieces that are designed so that as we're making the mold, they can be crimped so that they sit inside of there. It's like a bushing kind of.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's a helical essentially. Yeah.
So you got your own like factory that you work at and build all this stuff.
All of this stuff we make in Portland, Oregon. The baby pins we make in Portland, Oregon in our machine shop. The only things we don't make right now are magnets. Magnets we have to get from overseas.
They're hard to source.
They're hard to source in the US.
Do you make this stuff on the computer, like you design when you have an idea?
Yeah, we've got what's known as Fusion. So we use the Fusion software and we use CNC machines to cut it up.